A very good morning to all of you. I think I'll also stay with a mixed Hindi and English, given that was the popular outcome of the previous vote by our minister. At the outset, let me first of all say a very warm welcome to Honorable Prime Minister here. And your words this morning were truly inspirational. And I'm here at the invitation of Hasmukh Khandia ji, who asked me to come and share some of my experiences of building Airtel, Bharti Airtel, in this country and beyond the shores of India. When I looked at the background of what soul is, it deeply touched my heart. कुछ ऐसा सोल में लगा कि जो सोल को छू गया. School of Ultimate Leadership, जिसमें the three pillars are excellence, integrity, and altruism. These are really, truly very powerful initiatives by any school anywhere in the world. And this is just not an initiative, it's a soch, it's a thought. And when I was told this is the brainchild of our Honorable Prime Minister, and we all experienced that this morning, how deeply he was attached, दिल से बोले, बहुत खुल के बोले, अपनी स्पीच ख़त्म करने के बाद उन्होंने कुछ और भी बातें बोली. आप सबसे उन्होंने कनेक्ट किया, आप सबसे आकांक्षाएं बनाई कि आप एक दिन बड़े लीडर बनेंगे. What our Prime Minister recognizes it that you have to multiply leadership. एक लीडर और कितने लीडर बनाएगा और वो अपनी टर्न में कितने और लीडर बनाएंगे, उसी से कंपनीज बनती हैं, उसी से देश बनते हैं, उसी से दुनिया चलती है. So I am very pleased that I have this opportunity and privilege to be one of the panelists and speakers here today, to talk to this young crowd. And all of you are truly young. When I walked into this room, I was surprised, because normally you come into these sessions and you have a lot of familiar, known faces. And when I walked in, I said, "Oh, this is really a young crowd." And I earlier had the chance of meeting the youngest one here, of 15 years old, who asked a question just a little while ago. Here he is now. And I must say that you are the future of this country. And I'm glad that we have been assembled, some of us have been assembled here over the next 2 days to talk about our experiences. मैं, क्योंकि वक्त बहुत कम है, आपको क्वेश्चंस भी कुछ पूछने होंगे, कमेंट्स भी होंगे. मेरी ज़िंदगी आप ही की तरह बहुत बचपन में शुरू हुई. 18 साल की उम्र में मैं अपने बिज़नेस में आ गया और बहुत छोटे से पैसे से, उस वक्त 20,000 रुपये, शायद आज 2-3-4 लाख के बराबर होगा, उससे मैंने शुरुआत की. जैसे अभी अश्विनी जी ने बोला कि जो कैनवस होती है, हर की एक डिफरेंट कैनवस होती है. मैं पढ़ाई में बहुत तेज़ नहीं था आपकी तरह, तो बड़ी मुश्किल से मैंने अपनी ग्रेजुएशन करके 18 साल की उम्र में मैंने अपना काम शुरू किया. मेरी कैनवस बिज़नेस की कैनवस थी, उसी से मैंने अपनी शुरुआत की और वहीं से मैंने अपने धीरे धीरे बिज़नेस बनाना शुरू किया. पर एक बड़ा क्लियर मेरे माइंड में एक विज़न था कि बिज़नेस तो करूँगा, पर बिज़नेस ऐसे करूँगा कि सिर्फ वेल्थ क्रिएशन नहीं होनी चाहिए, सिर्फ पैसा नहीं बनना चाहिए. इट शुड नॉट बी merely a tool to make money, but it should be a tool to create an impact, a very deep impact in the society, and it must be a force for good. जब छोटे बिजनेस होते हैं तो ज़ाहिर तौर पे उसमें कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं हो सकता ज़्यादा, और शुरू में आपको अपने लिए रिसोर्सेज भी इकट्ठे करने होते हैं. आपको, हमारे ज़माने में आज की तरह फंड रेज आसान नहीं था. आज तो आपके पास आइडिया है तो पैसे मिलेंगे. इफ़ यू हैव ए गुड आइडिया, देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ पीपल बैंकिंग यू आउट देयर. It was not in our time. You needed land, you needed machinery. There is no money. How do you buy land? If there is no land, where do you get the money? Because there's nothing to mortgage with the banks. So it is a very difficult cycle in those days. But some of us kept on working hard and assiduously towards our goals. And finally, some small successes in the earlier years led to some more successes. It kept on building. As they say, 1% each time compounds into something very big. And that's what you have to keep in mind. और फिर setback भी होते हैं, पीछे भी आएंगे, उससे डरना नहीं है. Never get discouraged with that. So there's always a proposition where you will move forward and then you will go and surge forward. And occasionally you will get a gust of wind behind you and you will take a big jump forward. इसी तरह मेरी ज़िंदगी शुरू हुई. 18 से लेके करीब 22-23 साल तक बहुत स्ट्रगल रहा. ट्रक की छत पे, ट्रेन की ज़मीन पे, हर तरह का काम मैंने किया हुआ है. आज वंदे भारत की बात हो रही थी, हमारे वक्त तो बहुत उसी तरह की ट्रेन्स थी, आंखों में कोयला भी पड़ता था, ज़मीन पे भी बैठना पड़ता था, खाने के लिए भी कुछ खास नहीं होता था ट्रेन्स में। तो वो ज़िंदगी देखी है, पर वहाँ से निकाल के लाए आगे। और क्योंकि ट्रेनिंग इतनी ज़बरदस्त उस वक्त हुई, ग्राउंड से हुई, तो पक भी गए, ताकि जब आगे जाके बड़ी बड़ी बैटल्स लड़नी थी, व्हेन वी हैड टू गो एंड फाइट सम वेरी बिग बैटल्स which were almost existential in our life, we could deal with it because we were very well prepared for it. So my life journey has been quite a tumultuous one. It's been a quite a interesting one, a lot of ups and downs. Many of you would have read about the story of Bharti Airtel, personally my own life story. So I will not stay too much with that. I have a few messages for you today, because I was inspired by our Honorable Prime Minister this morning, and when he spoke to some of us sitting here, he said, you must share your experiences with this group so that they can leave this two-day seminar with a much better perspective of how leaders have shaped their careers in their life. And I would like to do that today with you. So first and foremost, I think जो भी आप करिए, किसी भी फील्ड में जाइए, अश्वनी जी ने अभी बोला, आर्ट में जाइए, साइंस में जाइए, टेक्निकल एजुकेशन में जाइए, मेडिकल में जाइए, जहाँ भी जाना है, ये सोच के जाइए कि हमें अपनी ज़िंदगी में जो करना है वो ऐसे करें कि that should be so impactful that it creates a lot of impact in the society in a very positive way. We must be, whatever we do, be a force for good. That has to be the first principle. जो भी करो, अच्छा करो. Second is leadership style. एक question पूछा गया यहाँ कि should we lead from the front or from behind? And I think we heard our Honorable Minister that when you have to lead, and I think what he meant was when there's a crisis, when a leader has to lead, you need to be visible. You need to be out there. You need to be there to lead your teams. I have done that in my early years. I've climbed towers. I've gone into the trenches in the fiber. I've sat all night in the switch rooms when some network issues came up. We had some crisis a few times. With the engineers, rolling up my sleeves all night and ensuring that the services come back up before the people wake up in the morning. So you have to lead in the front. You can't sit at the back. But I had fortune of spending some time with General Mehta, who was my Secretary General when I was the President of CII. And I asked him, I said, tell me, how do you define leadership and how do you feel a leader should lead? And he said something which stayed with me. He said a leader has to lead from the front, but he should not go so far away from his team that everybody is left behind. Occasionally, he has to circle all the way back and come behind them to push them, to support them. And frequently in between, he has to go right into the center of his team to feel the joy and pain that they experience. So a good general leads from the front, occasionally goes behind, circles back, comes in the middle, and then goes right in front. I have done all those three things all my life. Because हर चीज़ की हर टाइम होता है हर चीज़ के लिए. कभी आप आगे हैं, कभी आप टीम को पीछे से पुश कर रहे हैं, कभी आप उनके बीच में हैं. ये तीनों चीज़ें करनी ज़रूरी है. सेकंड पॉइंट इज, बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि हर दिन ऐसे जियो कि आपका आखिरला दिन हो. लिव योर लाइफ एज इफ इट्स योर लास्ट डे. I disagree with that. My philosophy has been very different. Because if you truly believe it's your last day, trust me, you will make some rash moves. You will do things that are not very good for you or society or the nation. I believe that every morning when you wake up, you must feel it's your first day of your life. Because that creates momentum. You look forward to tomorrow. Another day. Another day has started. You will learn new things. You will be curious to know what's going on. And you will do the right things because you're going to live long enough to reap the rewards of what you're doing every day. So please wake up every morning and trust it like a first day of your life and start your day like that. The next point is assemble people around you who are illuminators. बहुत लोग आपको बोलेंगे ये हो ही नहीं सकता, ये कर ही नहीं सकते. All the time you have people who will be diminishers, who will try to bring you down. How can you do this? ये possible नहीं है. यहाँ तक कि आपके चाहने वाले भी कई बार बोल देते हैं, नहीं नहीं इतना मत ऊपर उड़ो, इतना मत आगे जाओ, बड़ा मुश्किल है ये. It's very difficult. Please surround yourself with illuminators, because that can-do attitude is so important कि हो सकता है, कर सकते हैं. हर रोज जब उठो तो बोलो ये हो सकता है हम करेंगे. And whenever you face an obstacle, think of how you will create a staircase, a step to overcome that, because it can be done. So always be an illuminator yourself and surround yourself with illuminators so that you can achieve things that are generally not easily possible. The next point I will say is, for my business that is more relevant, make the people who work with you feel that they are also the co-owners with you. The entrepreneur culture doesn't necessarily need to be with an entrepreneur. It has to be with the entire team. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, you're a doctor, people who are with you in the operating theater must feel a part of your team, must feel equal ownership of that issue that is on the table, on the operating table at that point in time. That is how Bharti Airtel has lived. Every employee in our company feels he's an owner. They carry the pride on their chest to say, I am Airtel. Each one of them, 100,000 people will say, I am Airtel. They don't say, I work for Airtel. They are the Airtel. That is only possible if you truly believe from your heart and mind that they are co-owners with you. And that is so important. Whatever you do, your team members, whichever area you are, जो भी क्षेत्र में आप काम करें, जो भी आपके साथ काम कर रहे हैं, एकजुट होकर एक टीम होनी चाहिए. सबको उतना ही ओन करना है जितना आपको करना है. Only then you can be successful. If you feel I will take all the glory and I will take all the credits and they will do all the work, you will never get a first-rate outcome. Make them a part of the same mission that you are on. Last part is whoever you're serving. In public service, you will be serving the public at large. In certain professions, you'll be serving your customers, your clients. Be obsessed with that. How can you serve your customers, your constituents in the most effective possible manner? That obsession has to be on your mind. And the expectations, the aspirations of people you're serving keep rising. You give people a gas connection which they never had. You give them a road that they never had. You give them electricity that they never had. It's not enough. Come the next elections, those are forgotten. They're done. That was the right. We have 5 more things pending. We have 10 more things pending. Aspirations will keep going up. You will have to be more creative. You'll have to be more efficient in delivering services to your customers, to your constituents, to everybody out there. That is the 5th principle I would say you need to follow. Life will be hard. In conclusion, let me say there will be struggles as you go forward, but never, ever doubt your own abilities. You are today in a country which is aspiring to be one of the most leading nations in the world. We heard our Prime Minister this morning, by 2047, India truly will be Viksit Bharat. It will be truly the 3rd largest economy in the world. It will truly be a 30 trillion economy. You are fortunate to be living in times when India is taking wings and will carry the dreams of all the young people, 1.4 billion people, of which nearly 58% are very young people like you. They will all be seeing a very different India than what we grew up in. We will have some joy of seeing the next 20 years, 30 years, hopefully, as sort of we depart into our end of life. But you will be entering that phase, the glorious phase of Viksit Bharat. So I'd like to end by saying, I wish all of you great future. I wish you great success in whatever you do. And I hope these 2 days, ये 2 दिन जो हैं, ये आपके लिए ऐसे हों, जो आपको लेके जाए, इसमें से आप ऐसे सीख और ऐसे experiences जो आपकी ज़िंदगी में काम आए. Thank you very much. Sure. Yeah, sure. Let's pass the mic around and we can start with one of the...
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
go ahead.
I am Malika Singh Pathania from Himachal Pradesh. Sir, I wanted to know your perspective on the growing duopoly in the Indian telecom sector. I just wanted to know your take. Is it beneficial for the Indian telecom sector or not, considering less competition and less innovation? Thank you.
Well, I think it's a very good question, a very topical question. India had gone up to 12 operators. And that, I can tell you, was also extremely weak environment in the marketplace. Let me, in brief, sum and substance tell you, in our industry, what is important? There are two things that we live by: massive capital investment and spectrum availability. These are the two important ingredients for telecom industry, especially the mobile industry. You should not fragment the spectrum to a point where it becomes inefficient. Indian spectrum was fragmented to a point where it has become completely inefficient. The services were poor, you could not serve the customers, it had become extremely expensive. So spectrum consolidation was very important. Second part is, how many highways are too many highways in parallel? How many roads you want to build from here to a particular city? 1, 2, or 10 highways running in parallel? How wasteful it will be to build 10 fiber lanes between here and the rest of the country, or running all across the country. How many are too many? So the infrastructure part is very important, that it's consolidated, so billions of dollars, lakhs of crores can go into very robust, high quality infrastructure. Therefore, consolidation of infrastructure is very important. Spectrum and consolidation is also important. Yet competition is equally important, so that the customers keep on keeping every operator honest and get the best services at the best price. The good news is, despite we coming to almost now down to 3 private operators, Indian prices remain very low. Indian scale allows you to keep the prices low. At $2.50, India is the lowest price anywhere in the world. We should be extremely proud that we can use 30, 60 GB of data a month for $2.50, $3. I personally feel there will be 3 to 4 operators, including BSNL, to serve the country. World over, there's now a rallying cry. In Europe especially, where there's a lot of fragmentation, bring 4 to 3, 3 to 2. Africa is mostly 2, US is 3, China is 3. So I think the right size is 3 to 4, no more than that. Sorry for this long answer. Yes, let's take a question.
Hello, sir. Sir?
All right, go ahead.
Sir, you said that first Ashwini sir said that we are, if we working in a different areas, so first we have to focus on one. So sir, as I'm a student, as I'm NSS president at Central University of Rajasthan, as I'm going village to provide the services to every people as I can, as volunteering I can provide. But sir, when I'm providing services, I get obsessed with that. So sir, how can I focus on study if I obsessed with that? I need to balance. How you balance with that all?
Dekhiye, I think Ashwani ji very nicely mentioned that the task at hand you need to focus on. He did not mean you only do one thing. What he meant was, whatever you're doing at that point in time, focus completely on that. उस पे focus करके उसको अच्छी तरह निभाओ. Because then only you will be able to do things judiciously and rightly. But it doesn't mean you do only that. जब आप studies में जाएंगे, अपना study करिए. जब service कर रहे हैं तो service करिए. In our situation, एक time पे 20-20 मसले सामने होते हैं और सबको देखना है. एक ही दिन में देखना है, कुछ घंटों में देखना है. पर जब एक चीज़ पे देख रहे हैं आप, उस पर फोकस कर रहे हैं, तो उसी को देखना है. अगर आप 10 चीज़ों को एक टाइम पे देखेंगे तो जाहिर तौर पे बड़ा एवरेज पुअर आउटकम आएगा.
सर एक और क्वेश्चन था कि मैं बोलता हूँ यूनिवर्सिटी में कि मैं प्लास्टिक फ्री बना दूंगा यूनिवर्सिटी को. सर जब लोग कहते हैं ये तो नहीं हो पाएगा भाई, सो उसको कैसे बैलेंस करें?
अपने साथ एकत्रित करिए ऐसे लोग जो बोल सकते हैं हो सकता है. ओके सर, खुद भी मान के चलिए हो सकता है.
Sir, my name is Kunal Garg. I am from Punjab and I am doing business in animal nutrition. Sir, the question I wanted to ask you is, how were you able to scale to such heights that you have the best ARPU in the country, in the telecom sector in India today? The question I ask now, because the problem I'm facing is that I have a good product, but I'm not able to scale it to a large extent. I am able to, the product I have is competing with the MNCs, but I'm not able to scale the competence they have. So please can you share some thoughts on how can
ये बड़ा अच्छा क्वेश्चन आपका है. मैं अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से बताता हूँ. When I was starting my business, I realized that all the bigger business houses in the country at that time had taken a pole position in most of the areas that I wanted to work on. So I went into making, bicycle parts, eventually with the dream of going to bicycles, but they were already established. Atlas, Hero, Avon Cycles, all were there. Similarly, in hosiery, there were lots of, I come from Ludhiana, also Punjab. There are a lot of established players. So I felt very constrained that all I can be is a small supplier to these people, and it'll be very difficult to break away because everywhere, whatever you want to do, there is something already established. So आप जैसे बोल रहे हैं, there's an MNC which has got a dominance in this area. So what I did was I started to look at areas or openings where there were opportunities where these people were not present. And I started to really go into those areas. I imported India's first portable generators in the country when I was about 20 to 23 years old from Japan. There were no generators in India at that time. Nobody was in that business. Electricity shortages were rampant, including in Punjab, 16 hours power cut, 12-hour power cut. So I found a niche for myself in which I became very successful for about 3 or 4 years. Then Sri Ram Honda, Birla Yamaha, they set up factories in India, or they got licenses at that time, and my business was gone overnight. But I got this 4-year window to create enough capital for myself to move on to something new. And what was that new? I found push-button phones in Taiwan in one of my trips. And I brought India's first push-button phone into India. And then, of course, my romance with telecom started, and one thing led to another, to where we are today. So you have to find a niche for your product. Who are the customers? If you believe your product is superior, you will have to go and demonstrate to a niche and start to grow from there. Because I can tell you one thing. You have to remember to lie low below the radar of these large companies till you become strong. Once they get to know that you're becoming strong in that area, they'll come at you. They'll bring their prices down, they'll go and attack your customers. Stay below the radar for until a time when you have developed your muscles. Until that time, go to your customers, show them your products, create a niche market, and keep growing. There will be openings. You will be surprised. You'll find an opening, you'll surge forward. You'll find another opening, you'll surge forward. That's the only way to do this. Keep it.
Hello, sir. So,
Let's take some from the ladies as well. I think it's been quite men-heavy questions, so I'll come back to you. Lady here in the purple sari. You have a mic?
Hello, sir. I'm Astha from Himachal. I'll keep my question leadership oriented. As you mentioned that a key aspect of leadership is to work with your team and keep your team united. But at times, for work efficiency, it's also important to let go of some people. How do you manage to do such tasks with empathy, fairness, and compassion?
Very good question. I think it's a fabulous question, and this is something, it does not come to me easily. I'm very weak in this area. For me, if I have somebody working with me, it's very hard for me to be hard on them or ask them to go. For me, their family, their children, because people are dependent on their jobs, people are attached to their jobs. So first and foremost is try to inspire them to work better. Because I think it was mentioned that everybody has the potential. Everybody has the potential, and sometimes you have a round peg in a square box. So maybe he's in the wrong place, maybe he's in the wrong department. Can you move him around? Can you do something else? And that is where our job is constantly to do that. And at times, it doesn't work. And that's the time you have to be so good at the departure stage. मेरा एक test है with everybody who has worked with me ever. And people who have not even met me but has worked in my organization. If we were to meet sometime later, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, we should be able to look into each other's eyes and say, we were good for each other. He did well for me, and equally did I add enough to his CV to make him better. So he can get a better job, because people will, I'm stuck here, I don't have a choice, but everybody else has a choice. They can go to greener pastures abroad, they can go into another company. But whenever we meet, the test has to be that we are good for each other. And that test, I can tell you, I passed every time of my life. There's not been one single instance where somebody can say that we were not treated well, because they have to be your ambassadors wherever they go. And on a lighter note, I can tell you, we have not lost too many people. Occasionally, when we lose some people, I can almost with certainty say within 1 or 3 weeks, I'll get a message, I want to come back. We do something in our system or our culture, which I hope we can bottle it, that we respect people, we keep them well, we look after themselves. Ultimately, you have to make them feel as owners. And that's what we do very well. लोग हमारे से जाते नहीं है छोड़ के, कितने तूफान भी आ जाएं. एक दिन मेरे को याद है 2003, 85 of my top people were given an offer to move. 85. That was my entire leadership team. 2003. I wouldn't say who sent that offer. The offer was like, fill in your whatever amount you want and you have a job, you can move. Only 2 people moved. And I can tell you, I was not paying the top money in this country at that time. I couldn't afford it. My salaries would have been medium level. So that was the power of the mission and the attachment they had to the company. And that has stayed all throughout. Lady here.
Thank you so much, sir. My name is Sania, and I'm from Kashmir. So my question first starts with a statement that says that majority of the Indian population and the youth we all see today, it's an established fact that we are middle class, okay? So then the success stories, the leadership stories, everything we hear about people who are successful, everything we read about people who have become something, starts from a person who aspired something. So like us, like me, and like-minded people, we have aspirations as well, but we have families and we have their unfulfilled aspirations on our shoulders. My question is that while we are joining the rat race of fulfilling their aspirations and sacrificing our aspirations, how are we supposed to become leaders by the success stories that we hear from you people? If there is no success story presented to us by the people who represent us, how are we supposed to get motivated by it?
Well, I think it's a very, very good question and a hard one. And I think ये problem सबके लिए होती है. हम भी बच्चे थे किसी वक्त, हमारे भी parents की कुछ ख्वाहिशें थी.
Exactly, sir. That's why I'm asking the question.
But the point is right, and we have our aspirations for our children. ये तो चलती रहेगी प्रथा, you know. But the point is very valid what you are raising. मैं उसके लिए एक सिर्फ बोलना चाहूँगा एक message आप सबके लिए. If you have the luxury, and I'm using the word, if you have the luxury of doing what you like, as opposed to liking what you do, there's a big difference in this two sentences. If you have the luxury in doing what you love, that makes all the difference in life. That is the difference between a super success and an ordinary success. Most of the time, parents will keep pushing people, doctor bano, lawyer bano, engineer bano, government service में जाओ. And अगर दिल नहीं है, आपको धक्का मार के वहाँ पहुँचा दिया, तो आप एक ordinary success करेंगे. पर अगर आपके दिल से वो बात बन गई, if you and your parents can match and saying मेरे को डॉक्टर बनना है, तो आप बेस्ट डॉक्टर बनोगे. अगर आपको ये हो जाए कि मेरे को ये पर्टिकुलर चीज़ करनी है, तो मेरा ये मैसेज होगा आप सबके लिए, थोड़ी सी लड़ाई करिए अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ. कोई हर्जा नहीं है, उनको बताइए कि आप क्या चाहते हैं. और बहुत पेरेंट्स की भी क्या होता है, आई वॉन्ट माई चाइल्ड टू बी सेफ, उसको एक जॉब मिल जाए, उसकी ज़िंदगी ठीक बन जाए, और उसका भविष्य ठीक हो जाए. They are not coming from the wrong place. They are caring for you. But it's important, and today's generation can do that. हमारी generation में इतनी दम नहीं था हमारे को बात करने का. आप कर सकते हो. Even the parents are more evolved. They see internet, they see everything going on. They see startup stories. They see huge successes being built. और आप जो नए लोग अब काम कर रहे हैं उनको you can even get capital easily. So I think डर कम हो गया parents के mind में भी. They are seeing these success stories. पर बात करिए उनसे. बताइए आप क्या चाहते हैं. और ज़रूरी नहीं, जैसे एक्चुअली अश्वनी जी ने बोला था, ज़रूरी नहीं कि आपको एक ही चीज़ करनी है. आप आर्ट्स में जाइए, आप साइंस में जाइए, आप टेक्नोलॉजी में जाइए, आप कुछ भी करिए, पर जो भी करिए अच्छा करिए, बढ़िया करिए.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think I've exhausted my time. Thank you.